everybody. The next recipe that we're going to be doing today is the French toast recipe. And again, this can be found on your recipes and instruction sheet that is on Google Classroom. I posted my recipe once again up on my cabinet so I can see it, easily accessible, not going to get messy though. All right, so one more time, you want to make sure your hands are washed, your hair is back, and you have all of your ingredients out that you're going to need. I have my 2 slices of bread. Okay, this is just regular whole wheat oat bread. My egg. I have some cinnamon and vanilla. These are optional additions if you'd like. And I have some milk. And then my utensils, I have my whisk, I have my spatula, my liquid measuring cup, a mixing bowl, and some measuring cups over here, teaspoons and cups. And of course my griddle. I'll say this every time that we do a lab like this. If you do not have an electric griddle at home, feel free to do this over the stovetop in just a regular skillet, okay? Same thing. All right, so we're gonna follow along to the recipe. I'm gonna make sure that I have everything that I need and read along because I don't wanna mess up any of the measurements. Cooking is like a science. So if you mess up any of the measurements, your product is probably not gonna be what you expected it to be. Okay, the first thing it says is to plug in my griddle and set it to 350. I'm gonna plug it in. I'm gonna hold off on just turning it on. It gets hot very quick, and because I'm talking to you, it's gonna take a little longer for me to get my French toast on here. So you can turn yours on right away. I'm gonna wait just a couple minutes. The next thing you're gonna do is crack your egg. And I always recommend cracking the egg in a separate bowl, especially because if you already have ingredients in your main bowl, you might not see any shell that will get into it, okay? So crack your egg. We always have to worry a little bit about salmonella, so you're gonna throw away the shell and quickly just wash your hands again. Okay. And then, no shell, so I'm gonna pour it right into my dish. Okay, the next thing we're gonna do is, using the wire whisk, you're gonna beat it just a little bit. The other thing you could use instead of the wire whisk is a fork. Does the same thing. In pancakes, we talked about how a whisk will actually incorporate air into your liquid ingredients. All right. Okay, and then we are going to pour half a cup of milk and place it into this bowl. Once again, the proper way to measure a liquid ingredient is to keep it on a flat surface, get eye level, and measure down, just like that. Okay. Okay, so now at this point I have just egg and milk. I'm almost there, so I am going to turn my griddle on. You're going to set it to about 350, should be good. Whisk this up. Remember, when you whisk, you're not stirring. If you were stirring, you'd use a spoon. Whisking is actually like flicking it a little bit. Using it, it's all on your wrist, okay? At this point, I'm going to just sprinkle in a little bit of cinnamon. I don't really measure the cinnamon. I just sprinkle so it coats the top of my egg mixture. And I'm going to add just a little bit of vanilla extract. I'm going to do half a teaspoon, but I'm not going to measure over my main bowl. So once again, if I do that and I mess it up and pour too much in, you can't take it out now. So I'm just going to pour a little bit over an extra dish and pour that right in. Okay, you can whisk this up one more time. Now, one of my tricks for French toast, because this bowl is a little bit too narrow to really get a piece of bread in there easy. So what I like to do is actually take a pie dish. And if you have a pie dish at home, this is going to be pretty simple for you to just pour in your egg mixture. This actually prevents you also from putting too much egg mixture on the bread, because once you dip it, you don't want to submerge it. You literally just want to dip each side so it coats it. If you submerge it, your bread's going to fall apart and get all soggy. So, non-stick griddle. You don't need to spray it. You can if you want. It'll just crisp it up a little bit. As you know, as I've told you in the past with quesadillas and pancakes, if you've watched those videos, I love putting butter on the griddle. So I use the knife to put the butter on, but I don't like metal on non-stick surfaces. So I use the spatula to just spread it around. You can already hear it sizzling, which means my griddle is getting nice and hot. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to dip one side of my bread and dip the other side. And you're gonna see that it gets a nice egg coating. I'm gonna place it right on the griddle. With this specific mixture, I'm only making 2, but you could probably get 2 or 3 more pieces of French toast out of this, okay? I just don't have enough people in my house to eat it, so I'm done with this. The other thing is you really might want to just ask where your parents want you to dump the egg mixture. Some people like it in the garbage, some people like it in the sink. I'm actually going to put it in the garbage because it is a little bit thicker than regular liquid. Wash your hands, you touched that again. Okay, and it's only going to take a few minutes for the egg to cook on either side of the bread. And I'm just going to go through my recipe and make sure I did everything that I'm supposed to do. You want to make sure you have your plate ready to go, as well as your syrup, maybe some powdered sugar, anything else you're going to be putting on the French toast. The types of bread you can use vary with this. If you just use regular white bread or wheat bread, that's fine. But if you use like challah bread or Italian bread, even like the Texas toast style bread that's nice and thick, that's when it becomes almost like restaurant style French toast. Okay, so unlike pancakes, there's no bubbles at the top, so you just kind of have to make a guess when it's ready to flip. And you could just put your spatula over. And I would say that was probably a little bit early, so I'm going to let my other piece cook a little bit longer. Okay. In class, you would each get 1 piece of French toast, a little bit of syrup to put on it. And when you're at home, if you make this, you can get creative. So if you do something interesting, tell me, take a picture, send it on Google Classroom. That would be great. All right, let's see. And I did mention with pancakes, if you're using the electric griddle and you're using the whole thing, the items on this side where the actual heating port is, they're going to get a lot hotter. For some reason, they get hotter quicker. So just double check. They'll cook faster. Double check them first. Okay? So give it a couple more minutes. And I do like mine golden brown. I'm going to give it 30 more seconds. As long as you think that egg is all nice and cooked the way that you want it, you're good to go. All right. So I'm going to take it off my electric griddle. Once again, I'll say this over and over again. The first thing you do, unplug your electrical appliance. And I'm going to turn it off. Let it cool down before I wash it. And remember, we talked about on our safety contract, you don't submerge these items. You just wipe them down with a damp cloth, but wait until they're cool. Or have somebody at home do it if you don't feel comfortable washing it. In class, I actually wash them for all the students so they don't have to worry about burning themselves. So here's my French toast, okay? Here's my syrup, and I will be enjoying this in a second. Thank you.